Ladies and gentlemen, this is Art of MMA. We're back with conversations. I'm your host, Mike Yin. I got a couple special guests for you today, not just one, but two. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Coming to us just before he's about to hop into the cage. Got some great news. I'm talking about El Toro, Anthony Birchak. Anthony, welcome.
What's up, dude?
And I'm glad you can make some time. And then our other special guest, she does a little bit of everything nowadays. She fought for a very long time. Nick, are you still active, or are you still see what's happening?
Not right now. Right now I'm focusing on my stunt double stuff, but you never know.
Never know. Talking about Nicdali, rivera-calanoc. I said it right?
Right. Well, you can just call me Nicdali. I'm going to get rid of all my last names.
Well, you should, because you got a really unique first name that you could just market the hell out of. So
thank you.
Might as well take advantage of it.
Oh, for sure.
But folks, thank you so much. Got you both on. You both know each other very well. So it was really cool to be able to get both of you on the same episode. For those that don't know, Nick just got her purple belt under Anthony at 10th Planet out in Tucson. How do you feel about that? It was exciting.
Me? I am extremely proud of it.
A lot of hard work right there.
A lot of hard work. 3 injuries and working through that. Even when I was injured, I would go to the mat and I would watch, because I was like, I am not getting out of the habit of doing jujitsu, even if it is getting mental reps. And as soon as I could drill, I started drilling, and just, I don't know, it just means so much to me because I put a lot into it.
How did you manage, because I know you're in Cali and obviously the gym's in Tucson. How did you guys manage that? Just a lot of commuting? A lot of going back and forth?
We as the 10th Planet system, sorry, I was actually going to jump in. We as the 10th Planet system have a video training course, and basically it's called Mastering the Warm-Ups, and it's 8 flows, letters A through H, and within those letters there's 4 flows in that, so A1, A2, A3, A4. Nicdali and Travis have been training those warm-ups diligently, which gives them the fundamental base for 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And just seeing how much her and Travis have progressed just with those videos, that was, really important to me to see them continue to acquire that knowledge.
Put in that work, yeah. I was going to ask also, because I know there's 10th Planets pretty much. I mean, Eddie Bravo has those gyms all over the place. Does it matter which one you're going to? Or is it all just one big family?
No, each gym has a different style. You know what I mean? Each one of, sometimes you go to, one that's really rubber guard heavy. One time you go to something that's really leg lock heavy. Sometimes you go to something that's really lockdown heavy. And, obviously at our gym, we're really wrestling heavy. And for MMA, making sure that we're getting the takedown, getting on top, and continuing to use that style of ground and pound is kind of more practical for what we do. So, knowing Nicdali and Travis through Extreme Couture, and them training me for MMA fights and me helping out with, their growth in jiu-jitsu. It's just something that they gravitated towards me, and I gravitated towards them. And even though there is a 10th Planet in Ventura, stylistically, I just think they fit better with what we got going on. And because we have relationships, it's easier for me to, judge them objectively. And even though they're my friends, I'm like, damn, you guys suck today. What's going on? You know what I mean? It's like, I want to make sure that they are getting an honest opinion of their jiu-jitsu. And every time they come to Tucson, they're able to train, roll. If they're not, we talk about stuff at the house. We show concepts. We kind of just go down little rabbit holes here and there. But their diligence of training from far away from me is what impresses me the most.
Yeah, that's awesome. Go ahead.
We also trained, we took a road trip recently, and we also trained at 10th Planet Denver and 10th Planet El Paso, where all the head instructors there, Heather Jo Clark, Connor, and Master Vic, they were all like, you're definitely like, I wasn't a purple belt yet, but they're like, are you a purple belt yet? Like, what's going on with that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not the one, I can't give myself a purple belt. they all thought that I was already, you know what I mean? So, and then my husband, he was one of Birchak's fighters on the quintet last year in December.
Okay. I was going to ask you, like, because I know your husband was pretty successful as an MMA fighter. Why did he stop fighting? Injuries
He loves coaching.
Okay. We've seen that quite a bit. I just interviewed Jonathan Webb, who's out here in Philly, for the first episode of Conversations, and he's doing the same thing. I mean, he's only 31. He has UFC experience. He has CFFC experience, but now he's coaching the likes of like Sean Brady and people like that, and he's just in heaven. Like that's his zone. That's what he loves doing. He still grapples, but it's kind of like the same thing. And like Travis, like he only had that one decision loss in Strikeforce. Other than that, he won every fight. So I was always wondering.
Oh yeah, he never got finished ever.
Yeah, and I remember I was looking back at our old interview. So I interviewed Anthony, and our lead interview Eric interviewed Nick, and so I was looking back, just kind of refreshing, because I remember when all that happened back in 2013 that we interviewed you guys, but getting refreshed, and I was just like, whatever happened to him? Because he was so good. I don't know. I mean, I guess everybody has their zone, but I think he could have made a pretty good run at 145.
Oh yeah, he just loves coaching, and he actually helped coach Birchak before in past fights, and I don't know, that's just what he loves to do. Yeah,
I've seen him in the background a couple times. Yeah. Now, Anthony, I know you got to be excited. You got that call the other day. You've been working a long time to get back to the UFC.
You have no idea, man.
I mean, going to the interview we were supposed to do a couple weeks ago, and unfortunately, time zones kind of got the best of us. But a couple weeks ago, like most of my questions for you were pretty much like, I know you were working hard to try to get back there, and then like literally like 2 days before this interview, you get that call.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely overwhelmed with emotion, you know, and just trying to realize if it's real, you know, pinch myself. Even when I got here, like I got here and I was alone. Like I didn't get to bring any cornermen with me. You know, it was, everyone was still trying to finish up their days of work and stuff. No one could just drop what they had to do for me.
And they got to go through testing too, right?
Yeah, I came up here and I just I had about 4 cries by myself. You know what I mean? Just thinking like, God damn, man, it's like, here we are. Like all that shit that I've been trying to, you know, I've contemplated retirement. I've contemplated just turning into coaching and really focusing on being a businessman at my gym in these last couple of weeks. And it's just like, dude, what am I doing? Like I could definitely make a run at this again. And I mean, you know, I'm a lot more mature than I was. A lot more mature than I was at the beginning when I first got in, and now I see, you know, what it takes to be successful, and you know, I'm ready to show it off now.
No, that's awesome. I mean, you're coming off 3 straight wins. You had like 2 quick ones with submissions. Do you know your opponent? Because I mean, I know I was looking at his resume, and you guys have crossed paths quite a bit as far as like places you've been.
Bro, you don't even know how well me and Gustavo know each other. We have hundreds of rounds between each other. Okay. We're teammates at Extreme Couture. We're teammates at 10th Planet Las Vegas. You know, so it's like, is it the ideal, you know, fight for me to fight one of my friends? No, but you know, we talked after I got off the phone with my manager. Gustavo messaged me and was like, hey, I'm gonna call you. And we talked on the phone, and he was like, look, dude, like, this is just a blessing for both of us, because if I don't say yes to you, you know, I go without a fight. And, you know, I know how hard you've been working to get back in. He's like, it's all love and respect, bro. Let's put on a show and have a beer after. So, you know, it was really beautiful for him to do that. And I really am grateful for Gustavo because he didn't have to say yes, dude. It's just, he's, you know.
I've talked to a bunch of people that probably wouldn't fight each other, that train together and stuff like that. But I've also talked to a bunch of people that fought each other and went out to have like breakfast the next morning. Like that's just one of the great things about it. Look, like most of the time, bro, it's just professional.
If we were, you know, if we were in a race, we'd be racing. But the thing of it is we fight. So that's what we got to do.
I mean, I'm sure you guys go just as hard in the gym behind the scenes as you will on camera Saturday night. So
exactly. Now, you know, just a million people get to watch us.
Now you're getting paid for it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm super excited for you, man. That's excited. Now, instead of saying former UFC fighter, now we can say UFC fighter.
Yeah, dude.
That's got a good.
That kind of used to get under my skin a little bit. You know what I mean? Just like former. like, damn, man, like, what the fuck? I couldn't
But it
hang
was
on to
your
that.
choice. But it was your choice. That's the difference. You know what I mean? You wanted to experience other things. You wanted to experience fighting in Japan and doing all these grappling things. And you know what I mean? Like it helped you. I feel like it helped you mature as a person and as a fighter. You know what I mean? I feel like you needed that. I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
my
I
opinion.
definitely agree. I
Nick's
I
gonna take my
definitely
job
agree
from me.
that a lot of a lot of people ask me why the UFC cut me the first time, and they didn't cut me.
It was a
I was
contract
at the
dispute,
end of
right?
I was at the end of my 4 fights, and it was right in between the WME IMG Zuffa purchase. So there was guys like me, Ryan Bader, the Monsoon, Carla Esparza, even, and obviously, Monsoon and Bader went to Bellator, and Carla just kind of hang out, and they got her a new contract. But at that time, dude, after my last UFC fight, my house flooded due to the storm. The landlord was zero help, and it was basically the fault of a bank that was behind our house, who chopped down a bunch of bushes and put it in a drainway. So the water redirected into our fence, into our
Oh
backyard.
shit, that sucks.
And, nothing ever came of it. No one ever got sued. We didn't know we just wanted to get the fuck out of there and get into a new house with the kids. So I was, basically evicted or had to force to move out. And then we had, sorry, can you see me?
Yeah, you went out for a second. I
Okay.
got you. That's the
Sorry,
only
but
downside. That's the only downside doing it on the phone. Sometimes when you guys get a message or anything, it like locks out the video for a second, but it's all good.
yeah, so the whole thing of that was, man, was super painful. And I was sending Sean Shelby my eviction notices. I was sending him my red notices for water, my red notices for electric. And it was like, dude, like, I need to fight, bro. Like, I was trying to be a company man and say yes to everybody. I had said yes to, Rafael Assunção in New York. I had said yes to, I think Aljamain. I had said yes to a bunch of people.
That would have been
And,
a fun fight.
it was just like at that time, Combates and Ryzen were the only ones really paying attention. And Ryzen was the one that, had some more money for me. And it's always been my dream to fight and visit Japan. So that was an easy choice.
So actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna get back to Nick in just 1 second, but you brought up Ryzen, and you kind of suffered what I've heard from a bunch of fighters who've gone over there, the judging, because you had 2 split decision losses.
2 split decisions and then a unanimous decision loss to Kawajiri, which that one I'm fine with. You know what I mean? Like,
But the split
I'm okay
decisions,
with
you
losing.
think you won?
Huh?
The split decisions, you think you won?
Oh, hands down, definitely. Yeah, both.
Oh yeah.
There's no way that I couldn't have won those 2 fights.
Yeah, I've heard that from so many fighters that have gone over to Ryzen. You don't hear it with like ONE FC or anything like that, but with Ryzen, I've heard it quite a bit. Like you don't leave it in the hands of the judges over there. That's a mistake.
Yeah, and they kept telling me like, oh, well, they like you. And I go, what do you mean they like me? Well, they gave you a split decision.
Yes, probably true.
So that was a big learning experience to me. And although it might have been the worst thing to happen in my career numbers, my record, it was a big learning experience. And I took a lot away from that. And I learned a lot from the Japanese people. I learned a lot from the culture. And it has forever enriched my life. So, if you take those 2 fights and put them onto my win, I'm 18-4, and that's, or 18-3. And that's
I'm just glad you
that's a
knocked out
record.
Joe Soto. That's the only one I was really happy about.
Yes.
I thought you got so screwed over in that whole switch when they moved him up to the main event, and you kind of got screwed over in everything. And I was like, and then when you finally got your hands on his ass and you knocked him out in the first round, I was like, I was doing jumping jacks. I was so happy, man. I was so happy.
Bro, that whole journey, my whole journey's been,
and that was not too
crazy.
long after we actually did our interview. So I was still like,
Yeah, that was maybe 3 months, 4 months.
When I did the interview with you, it was right after you had won the MFC belt.
Oh, so it was about
before,
a year.
It was before you even got to the UFC.
Yeah, it was about a year then.
Yeah, because you were still on your way up at that point. You were still transitioning from being a wrestler to doing everything else, and then next thing you know, here, Anthony Birchak in the UFC.
I got hands.
I know that guy.
Hell yeah, man. I just look back at all that stuff, man, and I'm like, man, is it worthy to write a book over? Is it worthy to share, my journey with people? Like, I don't know, maybe, but it's definitely been fucking entertaining. I'll tell you what.
Writing a book always comes down to whether it's worth it for you. If you make money off of it, it's kind of bonus. Anybody I've ever seen write, and I've written for a long time, you got to do it for yourself.
I think that it would be very beneficial if you wrote a book, especially like having a family and, putting that into your journey and putting your whole journey into it. I think it would interest a lot of people.
Yeah, most definitely.
I know a lot of young fighters that are, have baby mama drama and they're trying to train and they're trying to do all that. Like I dealt with all that, you know what I mean? I still deal with all that, headaches of her, calling DES and trying to get more money out of me just because I fought recently. And it's so exhausting. I can understand how maybe a younger millennial fighter now, doesn't know how to deal with it. Maybe resorts to drugs and alcohol, maybe takes his own life. Like there's just so many instances where I've seen, men get run down by, the system like that, where it's just it's not a winning situation for a guy.
Yeah, no, I've seen it firsthand too. So I definitely get that. I mean, it'd be a good story. Nick, now you've been busy. Like you've gotten back to your modeling, you've gotten back to working on your comics and stuff that you love doing. Are you still doing anything like behind the scenes with MMA or just training?
With MMA in general, no, I just train. I went and helped Mazeret Conejo Reese train for her upcoming Invicta fight. I didn't get to spend a lot of time, just like 2 days. So that was really rewarding for me just to see where I am in the scheme of things. And I don't know, I like helping other people, but as far as like me fighting anything anytime soon or anything like that, I don't really want to think about that too much, because the last time I was training for a competition, I was supposed to go to stunt double school, like literally like right after, and then I got injured. And so it just put a whole damper, like 7 months of like nothing. So I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to go to stunt double school. And then when I'm finished with that, then we'll see where we're at. You know what I mean? With competing or anything else. You know what I mean? I just
have you been busy with that lately? Like, have you gotten some roles doing some stunt double stuff?
No, I'm going to go to stunt double school in February.
You're going to it. You haven't gone to it yet.
Yes. Okay. No, I haven't gone because of COVID. They closed it.
Yeah.
And then I was injured, so then I couldn't before that. So it's just like a whole almost like 2 years of like not being able to do it because of that. So now, because of that, I'm like, no, I'm going to go to stunt double school. I have a person who I want to be my agent. I have friends that are actors, and then we'll take it from there as far as like competing, because I have to do that. I'm not getting any younger. Physically, you have till you're about like 50 till when you can do whatever you want to do. And then after that, it's like, you can't. You know what I mean?
You're both way younger than me, so I don't want to hear it. So that's your plans now? Go to stunt double school, get into the acting world, get your SAG, get all that stuff going.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's 100% awesome. I've known a couple stunt women. They're pretty badass. So.
Oh yeah, of course. You have to be as physically fit as a fighter. The only thing that you're not getting is like, you're not getting punched in the face.
And you're getting paid more.
And you get paid more, especially being a 105er.
I think her, coordinating, fight scenes and choreographing some of those little dances when it comes to position and stuff like that. She would be outstanding when it would come to choreographing like a fight scene.
I just think it's hilarious. She mentioned to me offline that she was going to be a little bit more revealing today to kind of get under your skin a little bit. But here he is. Well, hold up. Here he is showing more skin than you are.
I know, right? He's trying to outdo me.
I didn't know this was OnlyFans up in here. I should have charged for this one.
I know. We
had a talk on for $9.99.
We had a talk recently, and I told her, like, as a purple belt and as one of my jiu-jitsu students, I thought she didn't need to have one of those, you know what I mean, and do that. But I understand with 2020, everybody's,
there goes Big Brother right there.
That's what it was, dude. Like, come on, like, button your fucking shirt up. Put, you know what I mean? Like, so we did have a talk, and I told her
she's got it right. I mean,
she was like, are you gonna replace the money that's coming into my pocket? Are you gonna pay me to do that? And I go, no, obviously not. She goes, okay, well then let me do my thing, and that's where we're at. And I understood it at that point. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest. My friend Mallory, who's out in Las Vegas, she's been a former like cocktail girl and show dancer, and she's not a big name. Very few people know who she is. She opened the OnlyFans maybe right when it was getting maybe like 6, 7, 8 months ago, before the pandemic. She opened it up because she was trying to pay to get back to DC, where she's from. She wants to come back to the area, where I was before I moved down to Tampa. And so I've known her for a long time, and the amount of money that girl made, and people don't really know who she is. She's just hot.
Yeah.
The money she made put what I make in a year to shame. And you got somebody like Nicdali that has a name that people know who she is. Yeah. You can't replace that income. That's
no.
If she's willing to do it and she's willing to make money off, more power to her.
And I understood what she was saying when she explained it to me a little bit more. I understood exactly what she said. I understood why, and it made sense to me. You know what I mean? And I get the fact that
don't knock the hustle.
Exactly, that's the hustle that's bringing in the fucking bread, baby boy.
I also understood your point of view, though. For real, yeah. I did. Okay. But my father's not in my life, and my stepfather who raised me, he's kind of crazy. He would never say anything to me, so I appreciated it. You know, sometimes you need a big brother voice.
And that's all I was trying to do was be that voice to go, you know, button your fucking shirt up while I'm on Zoom with you, goddamn it.
Now, have you been biting your tongue this whole time?
Huh?
Have you been biting your tongue this whole episode?
Yeah, because as soon as I saw her, I was like, God.
She said you would too.
Yeah, of course.
She knows you just as well as you know her.
Yeah, she knows.
See, that's our relationship. That's why I got you both on at the same time.
It's fall. Put a fucking turtleneck on like every other normal person.
She's in California. I'm in Florida. It's like 75, 80. It's 82 degrees right now.
Both you guys need to be turtlenecking up.
You're in Vegas. It's not cold. The only reason you're cold is
because you're freezing. I also got no meat on my bones. I got no meat on my bones. I'm fucking freezing.
You're only freezing because you're in the hotel room.
And you're nude, right? Are you nude?
No, I'm not nude, but I mean, I could probably bang some OnlyFans out right now.
In fairness, you'll probably see you in less on Saturday. So
that implied shit.
True. Do they make you a singlet? Did the UFC make you a singlet?
Did they make me a singlet?
Mm-hmm.
No, they did not. They just made me the Reebok fight short kit, hoodies, tracksuit kind of thing, and that's what I'm going out.
They were already under. No, were they already under Reebok when you fought last with them?
Yeah, 2 fights was no Reebok, and then 2 fights was Reebok.
So they pretty much already had your kit. They just had to resize it.
Yeah, and actually, I think some of the new stuff is a new cut, so it does fit it's slightly different. Some of it's better, some of it's a little tighter, but all of it looks banging, man. I can't wait to fucking floss that on Saturday.
Nah, I can't wait. I know.
Dude, I'm so excited for your fight. You so deserve it. The universe is like, here, remember we talked about this? The universe is like,
that's where it came from. That's where it came from. She was online talking about it. I saw her like promoting you coming back to the UFC.
Yeah,
she was talking about it on social media than you were.
Nicdali, man, she's like in motherfuckers' DMs telling them like, yo, look at this film. Look at this. Look at this finish. Look at this finish. Why is he not in there? Look at another finish in under 60 seconds. Another finish in under 90 seconds.
You need to hire her as your PR agent.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I was in one of the matchmakers' DMs like, look at Anthony. Look at Anthony. He's going to be at this grappling tournament. And he actually showed up, but I was like, come on. Anthony's awesome. And he agreed with me. But
I mean, shit, his school has been kicking ass in all these tournaments they put out there.
Dude, yes.
Dude.
Every time I see you guys talking about it, y'all are winning the tournament.
Well, what's crazy is we got, I was getting ready for Saturday for a quintet at Bullpen Submission Series. And my team, everyone was messaging me about my team, like, oh, you guys put together an all-star team and I said, fuck yeah, I did. I'm trying to win. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't Team 10th Planet Tucson. We have this, my brown belt, Willie. He has a company called the Heel Hook Hooligans, and it just on the rash guard just says hooligan. So he put together Team Hooligan, and it's just a bunch of people that he's interacted with, that has, you know, relationships with. And I had the winning team from last year, which was Team Toro, and we beat Team Hooligan in the finals. And I told him this year, I said, hey, dude, I'm not gonna put Team Toro back out there. I actually want to join your team. And he was like, nah, dog, you know, I don't want you. I want, you know, so anyways, he picked up a couple, you know, 4 other dudes, and we had a smashing team. And we had a little group on Instagram, and I was like, hey guys, I got bad news. And they're like, what, you got COVID? And I was like, no. I said, I got called by the UFC, and they were like, well, that's not bad news. I was like, well, it's bad for you because I'm fucking off the team. But, you know, they're like, everybody was super stoked that I was able to, you know, not have to do the jiu-jitsu thing and come and do, you know, the UFC fight night.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody be lined up on watching the TV.
Yeah, I think they're all going to have the tournaments going at the same time that I'm fighting, I think. So they're going to be having their phones out, and they're going to be
on ESPN Plus, right? It's not pay-per-view.
Mine is on ESPN regular, I think.
Okay, so you're a free fight. That's awesome, yeah.
More people to see you and get to know you.
Yeah, more exposure.
I'm telling you, man, she needs to be your PR person.
Dude,
put her on the payroll.
When her and Mercedes get together, her and Mercedes get together, they just start bouncing ideas off each other. They start, you know, talking shop.
Is she really Chael's niece, or is she just no Chael?
No, not at all.
Okay, I just saw her interacting with him on
said Uncle Chael, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, because she got him to like send a team down to your grappling tournament.
Yeah, but he didn't. It ended up being a whole bunch of different 10th planets that wanted to jump in on it. There's really nobody that was not 10th planet that showed interest. And I'm like, dude, $3,100, like that's $720 some for each person. How are you not interested?
So he bailed on it?
Yeah, he didn't send anybody out. There was a couple other teams in Arizona that are non-10th planet that didn't send people out. There was a team in New Mexico and Texas and New York that didn't send. And it was like, dude, I don't know how you guys didn't want to come out for that prize pot. They signed up for some other weekend bullshit tournament where they get an $8 medal. You know what I mean? And they paid $120. So it's insane to me, the level of people and the jiu-jitsu scene, that they hide behind these random little things because they're scared of either going up against people, or they're scared of, you know, trying a new rule set.
Yeah, that's always seems to be the problem, I think. Like everybody wants to do their rule set. They don't want to really cross over.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, well, we signed up. You guys knew there was a tournament that day. And I go, yeah, but since COVID, since Arizona's opened up, you've had Naga, you've had Grappling Industries, you've had another tournament, and you all chose just to do the November 7th one. So it seems like to me, it's an easy excuse. Like, oh, well, we signed up for that one, bro. Like, and I go, are they going to pay you? They're like, no, but, you know, we got the kids program there that we need to coach. That's what purple belts are for. Send your purple belts. You as a black belt, don't, you know what I mean? You should be making money.
Now you can send Nick over there to coach the team.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So that's what it's like. It's for my purple belts to learn how to start leading people. And that's exactly what they need to do. If a black belt gets invited to a tournament, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, well, I got to go coach the kids program. Do you not have any purple belts? Do you not have any brown belts? You know, it's kind of bizarre to me.
You would do?
If Birchak asked me, I would, but or Coach B or Travis, but anyone else, I'd be like, nah, dog.
Not your scene. So tell me about this comic, like so they're vampires. Like I've seen the artwork. The artwork looks amazing, but I haven't had a chance to read it.
Thank you. My illustrator, my business partner, Jillian, is amazing. I've worked with her since 2012. It is about alien vampires that go through a black hole because their planet got destroyed by it, and they end up somewhere else. And that's basically where the story starts. So okay, the comic will be on sale soon. Putting the touches on.
Is it all through Patreon? Is it all through Patreon, or are you going to release it like through different apps?
It's all through Patreon right now. This week I have to restructure the tiers on there, but it will be on print on demand. Like, so you can buy it and like, it'll be a physical copy.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's gonna be in 8x10 magazine style, and it's gonna be around $10. And there's gonna be some. It's not for kids. Let me just because there's some nudity in it.
Adult-oriented content.
Not for kids. So.
Oh hell yeah, cartoon titties. Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Not for you, Anthony. It's not for you. You're a family man.
Oh my god.
Actually, I'm a family man too.
I like how they made her taller. Like the illustrator made Nicdali taller by at least a few inches. They should have kept it real to size.
No, yeah, Ms.Mexica is 6 foot.
Yeah, that's a big ass girl.
I was about to say, because you're what, like 5'3", 5'4", something like that.
4'11", 4'7", I think.
I'm 5'3", bro. Come on.
Emphasize. She's average height, though.
In my mind, though.
Ain't nobody gonna be afraid of a 4'3" vampire coming at him.
No, but a 6 foot one, yeah.
I would definitely be afraid of a 6 foot Gabby Garcia coming at me.
No. She's hot. Like not that Gabby Garcia isn't hot, but
oh my god.
Don't worry, I don't think she watches.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
that's
I'm scared of Gabby. She would eat me for lunch.
I'm scared of Gabby.
I'm actually pretty stoked that you got that comic coming out. That's cool. I didn't know if it was going to be like a hard copy or if it was going to be like a digital download.
There's also going to be a digital download as well, which will be less expensive. But yeah, it's going to be. You know,
have to send me that link when it comes out because I want to get that hard copy.
What is it?
I said you're gonna have to send me that link when it comes out because I want to get that hard copy.
For sure. Trust me, I'm gonna
I got behind me like with some of my like superhero stuff. I have like an original like Deadpool Gambit comic, and I'd love to I collect stuff like that, so I would love to have it.
That's rad.
Awesome, thank you. That is awesome. I appreciate that. It means a
lot
to me.
I'm glad she said it's not for adults not for kids. Because, yeah, it's not for kids. One of my buddies bought a comic book DVD for my son Jet when he was like 4, and the opening scene is some Nazi Red Skull German like daggering Black Panther's father to death and then slicing him up. And I was like, holy shit, this is not kid friendly. Dope. You
should see some of this. I mean, you have kids, like some of the stuff they watch today. Like my daughter loves anime. She loves manga, all that stuff. But she only loves it really for the artwork. Like she does like the story sometimes she's just like, I don't really care about the show. I don't care about this. Because she's an artist. Like she does animations, she does all kinds of stuff, and she's only 12. It's like she kicks ass. But but she's into the art of it. She doesn't really care. Like she knows a lot of this stuff is too adult for her or too teen for her. But they don't care. They get into it anyway. They have all the collectibles, all the everything.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen some of the stuff, man. It's just like I was like, whoa, fuck, this is definitely not for kids.
Yeah, she has all the My Hero Academia stuff. And I was like, well, what's your favorite kind of show? What kind of episode? She's like, I don't watch it. I just like the way it looks. I'm like, okay.
Does she collect I see you guys got a little bit of the Funko Pops in the bag. Does she collect the My Hero Academia Pops?
Yeah, I've gotten her all of them. I'm the only one that really, well, that's not true. So I bought a few of them for like my wife and my daughter, but like my daughter uses them just to play with. She's still 12. My wife never takes any of them out of the box. And I've started keeping most of mine in the box. Like you can't really see it. Like I can move the camera a little bit, but like if you look like back in the corner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still got a lot of them in the box. And behind me, I have some more in the box behind me. So I've started keeping them in the box, especially since, a lot of them are just like when I first started getting them, they weren't worth anything. They were, they were baseball cards, like 1 million of them, right? But now they're like special and they only make so many of them. They're all collectibles. So
yeah, dude, we were buying them for our kid, Jet, when he was little, and we were just unboxing them and letting him throw them around and some of the bobbleheads he was just popping them off. And as soon as
I've had to fix Baby Groot a couple times.
Oh, dude, as soon as I saw like on the pop price guide what some of these things are worth, I was like, grab all of them, let's fix them. And I think we have over
like Stan Lee. 400 now. All of them, yeah. My wife's got like the Stan Lee. She's got Groot. She's got a lot of the horror stuff because she's like in the Freddy and Nightmare on Elm Street and all.
Oh yeah, like Pinhead and Jason and all them.
Oh,
Yeah,
Pinhead.
she's more into like Halloween and Friday and Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that, but more like the 80s, like quote unquote horror movies. I ain't gonna lie, Nightmare on Elm Street scared the shit out of me as a kid, but everything else I just laugh at. I've never really been scared of a scary movie. I just think they're funny, but like she has all those, like she has like a gold Stan Lee, like I got him as gifts because I knew she was into him.
Dude, that gold Stan Lee is like fucking $600.
Well, I'm gonna sneak that out and pay rent now.
Dude, we have, like I said, we have about 400 of them.
This show's not profitable yet, but we're gonna put it on OnlyFans because of this episode. So maybe
they're just oh my god, they're just
it's not even
which editions you get.
You're the one showing everything.
I know, dude. Like I mean, guys, hit me up. The OnlyFans is real.
Don't get me wrong. She's smoking hot, but you're the one showing the skin right now.
I know. I'm irresponsible. I'm over here telling her to button up, and I'm over here fully nude.
You don't have anything to button up.
Yeah, dude. Go ahead.
Did you ever find your Anthony Birchak pop? Did you ever get one?
No. Yeah. So that custom one that got done for me somehow grew legs and left my house. And I don't know if it was our roommate at the time, my oldest son kind of just wanting to have something of me, or my daughter. We really don't know who snagged it, or my daughter's friend. It also could.
How'd you get a custom one made?
There was this dude on the East Coast. It was the first or second fight. I think he did my Thomas Almeida kit is the one he did, the Reebok Thomas Almeida kit. And he knocked it out of the park. And someone fucking took it from my house.
That's fucked up.
No, yeah, I have no idea where it's at.
So whoever's out there that has it, return it.
Yeah, return it or sell it for an absurdly amount of money so that when I'm fighting on Saturday, someone can bid on it and it'll start floating around and it's out there in the ether as a one of one, very exclusive, very expensive pop.
Or if somebody just wants to donate it to my collection, I would love to have it.
Yeah,
you can send it to Tampa, Florida. I'll give you the address offline. Just send it down here.
Y'all suck.
Shit. It's the best move I've ever made.
Yeah, what?
Right now, DC's like, right now DC's like cold and rainy. It's like 50s, 40s. I'm like, it's 82 degrees and sunny right now.
Nice. I've never been.
Florida's also like one of hell's 7 circles. Like all the worst shit happens in Florida.
You live in the desert.
Yeah, but okay, we don't have
you have rattlesnakes just walking up to your house.
We don't got salt bath zombies. We don't got people.
You have just as many Trumpers as we do.
Bitten by crocodiles. People don't,
alligators, first of all.
We don't have, there's all kinds of shit in the news all the time about terrible things happening in Florida.
But most of it's pretty entertaining. Like, have you ever seen a Florida Man article you didn't think was funny?
Touche.
There you go.
Touche.
And I'll tell
Arizona's just hot.
I can go right. I mean, Tampa's more of a mixing bowl. Like, people from Tampa aren't from Tampa. Like 1 out of 10 people I meet here are from here. Everybody else is like, and then they're so proud they're from here. They try to like give you like be a tour guide. And they're like, oh yeah, I've lived here my whole life. This is where you need to go, which is cool. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I found stuff I would not have found otherwise. But everybody I've encountered here has pretty much been from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Plus, we have Hogan's Beach Shop, which was really cool.
Hogan's Beach Shop?
Yeah, in Clearwater, like down the street from his house, he has a beach shop, which is really awesome. I was in there last week. It's got a lot of memorabilia and stuff like that, and it's just really cool.
Oh, yeah. Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my wife isn't even a wrestling fan. She walked in the store and wanted to buy like 5 things. I was like, all right, cool.
That's tight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. And he's got Funko Pops like signed and stuff in the store for like $200, $300.
Wow, that's tight.
Yeah, he's in there like twice a week. It's like right down the street from his house. He wasn't in there a day we went, but it was still pretty cool.
And that's in Tampa?
Clearwater, yeah. Over on the beach.
Right on. Hey man, I'm getting a bunch of USADA messages. I gotta finish this thing. And they're gonna keep bugging me.
All right, man. Nah, you know what? I'm happy you hopped on. I'll finish up with Nicdali a little bit, and best of luck to you on Saturday, man. We'll be
Hey,
watching.
man, thank
we'll be
you.
excited for
I'm
you.
sorry I couldn't get this a little longer. I love to chat and talk. And,
hey, man, come back on after the fight.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that for sure. I'll give you, an exclusive one-on-one, and we'll make sure that we sit down for a good hour and talk it out.
Yeah, you got my info. Hit me up.
Okay, yes, sir. Bye, Nick.
Bye. Try
right,
my
Anthony.
later.
Best of luck,
See
buddy.
you guys later.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Birchak fighting this weekend. Make sure you tune in. So, Nick, now that he's gone, we can actually just focus on the most important part of this interview. You.
Whatever.
Nah, it was really
important. Well, at least to me, anyway.
Nah, it was really great to have you guys both on, because I know the interaction between the two of you I see online all the time. I know, like, how important he's been to your training and how important, just in life, like you guys, Extreme Couture and all that other stuff. I was a little surprised.
Him and his wife, like he said, when me and Mercedes, when we get together, it's like we're constantly like bouncing ideas off each other. And I love his wife so much. Like it's hard for me to be close friends with females just because I am really different than most females. I know a lot of females say that, but I really am. I'm 30 years old. I don't have kids, nor do I want them. I love kids. I teach kids. I just don't want any of my own. And, it's just so nice to have friends like her who have kids that understand who I am. Don't try to change me ever, and she's just always empowering to me, to Birchak, to her family.
I actually find it the other way around. I find it more rare to see a female get along with other females.
Really?
My wife gets along with my friends better than her friends. Just in general. I
think I would like my wife.
Yeah, probably. She's crazy too. But not calling you crazy, I'm saying. But she definitely is that vibe. And I've bartended for like 20 years. Like that's my main job. That's what I've done. Mm-hmm. And in my life, in my industry, I've almost always seen women gravitate more towards men than other women. Like I feel like other women tend to be a little bit more competitive with each other.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. Like we're two different people. So why do we have to compete? What's the competition? Why can't we both be awesome? Why can't we both be boss? Why can't we both be, our own thing? We don't have to compete against each other. I've never felt that way. Like, no, when I've had friends that are quote unquote known or famous, they're like, oh, are you jealous? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not comparing myself to that person. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm my own person. I am who I am. I don't want to be that other person. I'm happy in my own skin.
I'll tell you from a male point of view, the sexiest thing in the world is a woman who's comfortable in her own skin. Like we don't want to see you fighting with other women. We don't want to deal with that drama.
Yeah, I'm not about drama at all.
No, that's good. So you definitely got to send me that link. I can't wait to see that comic when it comes out.
Oh, me too. I can't wait to hold it in my hands and turn the pages and look at the story and look at the artwork and how it all flows together.
But switching back before I let you get out of here, switching back to MMA a little bit. I don't think I've ever really heard the story. What got you into MMA to begin with? I know you were like, I heard the part where you were like boxing and then, you met your husband and kind of got interested in the sport, but what made you actually want to like compete and fight?
He did. Okay. He did. I wanted to be a pro boxer. My stepdad and I would watch Oscar de la Hoya, and I watched this movie called Girl Fight, and I wanted to be a fighter. And I met him, and he was training at the Mikey Barnett's The Lion's Den. Mm-hmm. And I watched him fight, and I was like, I'm never going to do that. That's so brutal, blah, blah, blah. But watching his journey, like training, 6 weeks of training, watching it, and being that I played basketball since I was 5 years old and I ran track and like did all these other sports.
So you were always athletic in everything.
Always. I played basketball since I was 5 years old. I ran track. I did gymnastics. I did ballet. I played tennis, skateboard. I've done so many sports. I've excelled in track and in basketball. I know I'm short, but
keeping you in the house was never an option.
Oh no, I would hardly ever I would not watch TV. I'd be outside playing. climbing trees, playing sports.
That's what's missing from kids today. They'd rather sit on their iPad than get out and do something.
I know, that's part of the reason why I don't want kids. I'm like, I see parents with their kids and I'm just like, how can you let them do that? I mean, I understand like you're busy and you have things to do, but why not like make it a time limit where they like, I don't know. I'm not a parent. I'm not trying to give advice, but I'm just like, it just makes me sad. You know what I mean? Because the great outdoors.
It's a hard balance.
Yeah.
And you also have like, for instance, like I was always super competitive. I was always out and about. I was the same way. Played every major sport, football, baseball, basketball. I never ran track, but I mean, I did just about everything else. And when I wasn't in one season, I was in another. And my daughter is just, I don't want to say she's more of a girly girl, but, she'd much rather do the fashion and the art. And she's not a get out of the house kind of, like, she likes getting out of the house. Don't get me wrong. She loves going to the beach. She loves going to the pool. She loves doing stuff. But if it's a choice between doing something like running a lap at track or playing basketball or softball or anything, she'd rather be drawing or doing something different. And that's just who she is.
But that's different. You're creating something. Like, I commend that,
And she uses that. She uses that technology to advance herself.
That's awesome. And I think that's a great thing. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, she's going to be giving you competition as an artist soon, as a comic book artist.
Well, I'm not the illustrator. My illustrator, Jillian Alexiel, she
writes stories too, though. She's coming after you.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm the writer. I'm the producer. I can't draw to save my life, but I have the imagination to come up with characters and stories and concepts and, other worlds like Xibalba, the world that my alien vampires are from. Xibalba is a flesh-covered planet. So picture a whole planet covered in flesh, and then underneath, the rivers, the oceans, everything is made of blood. So they're used to just being able to, go to the river and just grab a glass of blood, So.
Nah, I'm looking forward to seeing and reading it. What made you come up with that name? That's a very unusual name. Where'd that come from? The planet's name.
ms.mexica?
No, the planet's name, Xibalba, or how?
Xibalba. Well, Xibalba is the Mayan underworld.
Okay.
So a lot of the stories are mixed with Mesoamerican, meaning Olmec, Mayan, and Aztec myths.
Mm-hmm.
So Xibalba in particular is the Mayan underworld. It's their version of hell.
Okay.
So that's where I came up with it.
Good to know. So you learn something every day.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I enlightened you on the Mayan underworld. One of the reasons why I decided to write this story is since I was a little girl, one of my mom's best friends, he was an archaeologist, and she took me on a tour of Mexico trip when I was about 13 years old, and she took me to a bunch of pyramids, and she took me to meet him, and he just taught me so much about the history of Mexico, the pre-Columbian history, and also, when the Spanish came, that I just became fascinated, and I just have been researching it since I was, just a teenager, just hours and hours of reading books about history.
Yeah, and I actually just discovered this too while I was looking for stuff before the show. There's actually a whole video that I'll link to in the show notes of you like talking about this whole thing too that you did back in August. So.
Oh, okay.
I think you did it like the According to Woods show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So I was watching a little bit of that earlier. So for anybody else that's wondering, she goes pretty in depth on that show about it too. So we're definitely gonna get some links to that. So I saw, speaking of kids, because your best friend, one of your best friends, Misha Tate, are you guys still super tight?
Oh yeah. We still talk like almost every day. Obviously.
I saw she's thinking about getting into a grappling match.
Oh yeah, I saw that. She's been talking about that for a little bit.
Yeah, somebody like her, like I think you said one time in an interview, she's the most competitive person you ever met.
Oh yeah.
So I can't imagine her sitting on the sidelines, even with 2 babies now. Like I can't. Like she's got that itch.
I like to I like to say to her or like explain her, she likes to have her cake and eat it too, meaning like she likes, having her family. She's always, not always, but like when she realized that that's what she wanted, she went after it like full force. She wants to have her family. She wants to be a full person, as I like to call it. She wants to be a successful mom, successful businesswoman, successful competitor, which I want to be that in my own way. I'm super proud of her.
It's amazing how fast all that stuff moved when she moved on from some previous dead weight.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna say any names, but sometimes things get away and they rhyme with that. So, but sip that cup. Yep. I thought that was funny. Like as soon as all that happened, everything started really happening great for her.
I feel like, anyway, let's talk about something else.
All right. What do you want to talk about? You were sitting there stealing my job earlier. What do you want to talk about?
Was I? I don't feel like I was.
You were interviewing Anthony. I was just chilling along for the ride.
For real? Well,
nah, I'm just teasing.
I did an internship for MMA Mania where I interviewed some fighters. So I did enjoy that. And
you always had the personality, even when you were doing interviews, when you were fighting, you've always had that personality. Like, I don't even think you should be a stunt double. I think you should be the actress yourself and just do like Tom Cruise and do all your own stunts.
Oh, no. There's just so much like things. I mean,
too many layers to it.
There's just so many layers to it that I just don't even want to like battle all those layers, So I think that for me and having friends in the industry and showing my interest in wanting to be a stunt double, they all said that would be a great fit for me. Part of being an actor is that you have to memorize pages of lines and every single emotion that goes with that line. And I don't know that currently I have the skills for that.
I tried it when I was younger. I didn't have the chops for it.
But there's something that I did learn from training with Coach Robert Fallis. And he told me that I was one of the most coachable fighters he's ever had in his long span of coaching. And when he told me to do certain things while I was training, I would do them. And he said, not very many people could do that, like in sparring, like work on this and then make it happen. And he made me realize that through repetition, physically, I could express myself in any manner that I wished. So that gave me the confidence to basically like, I can be a stunt double. Physically expressing myself through martial arts, through falling, through setting myself on fire, I could practice those techniques that you learn to do them and then make them happen and show emotion, become that aspect of that character. So
what do you think about what Anthony was saying about the choreography part?
Oh, I would love to do that. I've been thinking about that lately. I actually want to start doing a few more videos, or actually doing videos like this on my OnlyFans where I do like fight scenes, but like scantily clad or whatever. I think it would be really cool. Like just be like sitting on your couch and then all of a sudden like bust into a move, like kicks and like some crazy stuff. But yeah, I want to start doing that. I've been studying a little bit lately to figure out how to manifest that, how to make that happen.
That's funny. My last episode of Certified Podcast, the other show I do, that was like the whole principle of it, manifesting your destiny.
Oh yeah.
Putting it out in the universe. But the thing is about doing that, you can't just put it out in the universe. You got to put in the work to make it happen.
Oh yeah. People think that you just sit around and think about it all day. No. You have to put actions behind everything. You have to basically, it's a like full circle. You have to write affirmations, you have to meditate, but you also have to do the actions every single day, even if it's just a little bit, every single day.
It's easy to say you want to be a multi-billionaire. It's harder to actually go out there and put in whatever you have to do be successful at what you want to be successful at.
Well, a lot of people want to procrastinate and be like, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow, or I'm going to do this or that. You know what I mean? So, I always say, even if someone is making progress, even if it's one step closer, you're still taking that one step to making it happen. You know what I mean? Just like when I was injured, I had that injury and I could not physically do what I wanted. I could not run, I could not walk, I couldn't do a lot of things. So what could I do mentally, like, to make that happen? I did the best that I could do that day, and that's what I did. And that's how you have to do. Even if you can't go your full 1000% that day, do the best that you can that day.
Yeah,
you know
no
what
matter, I mean, whether it's training for an MMA fight, you could easily say, I want to be champ one day. But the amount of work those champions put in every single day to get where they're getting, yeah, you have a few people that are just naturally gifted and they get lucky sometimes and kind of coast. But eventually somebody who works harder is going to knock them off. And, whether it's making a comic book, like, it's easy to say, I want to make a comic book. Hey, I can draw. But the amount of work that goes into making a story people want to read and keep reading, not just showing up, whether it's making a podcast and having guests on and talking to people, nothing is as easy as it looks. And everything takes a little bit, like every episode we've done from the time I did my shows a couple years ago till now, I like to think get better and better. Why? Because you got to put work in. You got to keep trying. If you just coast and people are going to tune out, they're not going to care.
No, because you don't care. So people are, like you said, people are tuned into that and they'll notice.
Yeah, it's all about effort. And I'm gonna let you get out of here because I've kind of already kept you an hour, but I'm really excited about everything you got going on. I hope the stunt double thing happens soon. Hopefully the pandemic doesn't keep dragging on with everything and some of that stuff starts getting opened up.
I'm determined though. I'm like, February 8th is when that happens. And I'm like, I'm gonna put my down payment this month and then I'm gonna do everything I can to.
If that doesn't work out, you can always be a pro surfer.
That's true. I don't know about that, but I really want to be in movies. I can't you know how there's just some things you can't.
You ever thought about being a female wrestler?
What?
You ever thought about being a female wrestler?
I have no interest in that.
No? I know a lot of people come from athletic backgrounds and they get into it just like stunt doubles. They get paid well and they have a lot of fun.
I know, but
Your personality?
Don't. I know, but you're not the first person who said that to me. I just really, 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 okay. Have you ever had a dream or a goal that if you didn't accomplish on your deathbed, if you didn't accomplish it, or like say you're 80, 90, whatever, and you didn't accomplish it, would you be upset?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's how I feel about being a stunt double. If I don't do that, I will never forgive myself, ever.
No, I think you should. No, I'm just throwing more avenues out there. You can do both. But the stunt double, I mean, first of all, I think that's badass. Like, awesome. Like, I know a few stunt doubles throughout my life, and they could kick my ass any day of the week, male and female. And I like to think I can handle myself pretty well, but they could kick my ass. The amount of conditioning and shape they have to stay in 24/7 for any role, in your case, not only do you have to stay in shape, but then you also have to like try to mimic the person you're trying to be like. It's almost tougher than acting sometimes. You just don't have to really learn the lines, but everything else is just as tough. So if you want to do that, I am 100% behind you. I can't wait to see you like, oh yeah, I know that back. I know that person falling. I know it. That's her.
I know it's not going to be easy. And
no, not at all. It's one of the hardest things people have ever done.
Oh, I know. But I don't like things that are easy. I live for challenges and I live to overcome challenges. So
real quick, because I want some backup on this. I've had these fights with my friends. I've had these fights with other comic book quote unquote nerds. Best Joker of all time.
Heath Ledger.
Talked about this before. Yeah. I wanted backup. I didn't put that in her mouth. She said that on her own.
That's my favorite. Who are they saying? But second is Joaquin.
So a lot of them say that. I'm actually not a big fan of the last Joker movie. I just almost too realistic. It kind of took away Like, I like the realism of Dark Knight, but I think the Joaquin Phoenix one was just kind of too realistic. Like, you could see that guy coming, like, walking down the street. Like, and that kind of, like, I was like, I don't want to think about that now. Like, all right, that guy is really pissed off at his job, is about to come fucking kill all of us. Great. But nah, my favorite, so one is Heath Ledger, and then two, I go back to Jack Nicholson. That whole Michael Keaton, like, I think what he put out there made all of us think of what a Joker's supposed to be for like the next 20 years after that.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I mean, and Michael Keaton, I think, is still like the second best Batman behind Christian Bale.
I've a lot of people have told me that they think he's the first, but I agree with you. I feel like Christian Bale.
I wouldn't be mad if people said he was the first.
I wouldn't either. I think he's amazing. Who do you think is the worst Batman?
I haven't seen the movie yet. I've only seen the trailer, but Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
I think they're trying to make him emotional and sensitive, and I think it's ruining the character. Right after that, I say Ben Affleck. I thought Ben was a great Bruce Wayne, but we come off all this realistic style of Batman, and then we go back to a cartoon version with Zack Snyder and everybody else that did those Batman vs Superman movies and stuff like that in Justice League. I wasn't a fan of that.
See, I haven't seen Robert Pattinson's and I haven't seen Ben Affleck but from the trailers, I actually think Ben Affleck is worse, and I really like Ben Affleck.
He's
like a lot.
But
yes,
they just went back.
But he's not a Batman.
More cartoonish.
Yeah, there's been so many bad Batmans.
Yeah. I'm like, how you go from Christian Bale, who was badass and realistic,
I know,
back to the comic book? Like, I mean, everybody has their favorites,
That's true.
That's why they can reboot the series 5,000 times.
That's true.
But
did you like Adam West? I did.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I grew up on that. They used to be like reruns when I was a kid. Like, used to play on TBS and everything else. Yeah, I grew up on that. I'm 43. I'm way older than you, so I grew up on that.
So what is your favorite comic book of all time?
It's hard to say because I'm more of like, I'd watch the animated series or the cartoons than I did read the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Deadpool is my favorite character of all time. You can't really see it, but behind me, I literally have damn near every Funko Pop Deadpool.
Oh, wow.
It also helps that all his characters are like hilariously funny. Like, one's got slippers and another one has a unicorn, and it's just funny. But it's also
badass.
Yeah, yeah, and so they're all just badass, but they're also hilarious, especially the way Ryan Reynolds brought that shit to screen. So,
oh yeah,
like, I was really disappointed.
Did you know the movie got made because of him?
100%. He did the test footage. He did all that stuff on his own.
Oh yeah.
None of that would have happened. I thought it was a little sad because the original, I thought was actually his test footage that they end up like trying to include in the movie, I thought was better than the actual scenes in the movie. But the movie was badass. It was perfectly done. When it goes to actual comic books, though, when I was a kid, I used to read a lot of Spider-Man. I used to read a lot of like, I would read the comic strips a lot that were in the newspapers back in the day. I don't know if they still are, but every Sunday we'd get the newspaper, and back in the newspaper there'd be a huge comic section, and we'd all read that. Stuff like Archie and Spider-Man and Peter Parker and all that stuff. And then as I got older, I kind of got into the X-Men stuff.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Wolverine, a lot of I was a boy, I was badass. I like anything that was like destroying shit, that was what I was into. Superman, obviously. Superman's always easy for a boy to like.
Oh, for sure.
I went through a whole phase where that's all I collected was Superman stuff. I've always chose Superman over Batman, but
what?
But I like. See, here's the thing: I like the character better, but the stories have always been better from Batman.
I agree.
Like, the character, like Superman's, like, how are you gonna get in a fight with an alien who can kill you like with one like blink of an eye?
But that's what makes Batman so badass.
But it's not realistic.
It is because it is.
If Superman really wanted to kill him, he'd fly about 50 feet above his head and just laser beam his
ass. If he really wanted to, but that's the beauty of it, is he's such a good-hearted person, he wouldn't. You know what I mean?
And Batman's not, so Batman will take every dirty trick he can to try to even that fight.
Exactly. He's a ninja. He's a real ninja.
He is. Raul Ghul. We're gonna have to get you on an episode. Just talk about comics now.
I know. My last parting thing. My favorite comic book starting off was Catwoman. That was the first one I ever was drawn to and ever read. I used to collect them when I was like 11. That's when it started. So
who's the best
I still
Catwoman?
really love it.
Like my favorite Catwoman was Halle Berry. Who's your best?
Michelle Pfeiffer. But I'm really excited about the new one, Zoe.
That's gonna be good. I'll tell you, actually, I was one of the few people, I guess, that watched every episode of Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
The girl that played, I think her name is Cameron. Anyway, I'll have to look it up. But the girl who played Selena Kyle throughout that whole thing, and she never actually really went 100% Catwoman, but the girl that played that whole thing, I thought she did such a tremendous job, like starting that story.
Really? I need to check it out. I haven't seen it.
Gotham's very up and down. It started off really good, and then it got very, like, flimsy and fake, and then finished strong.
Okay.
There's like 5 or 6 seasons, but they got lucky to get past the second season, and then it kind of started getting back together when they started like making you wonder who's going to be the Joker.
Oh, okay.
And then they kind of flipped it and switched it and kind of like threw you a couple twists and turns, and then it became interesting. But when they were trying to go from being, because it's all more about Jim Gordon than it is anybody else, and then from like here's these super villains and Batman as a little kid to trying to accelerate it for Hollywood, I guess. Like, all of a sudden, like, hey, these guys are like 12, and now all of a sudden they're like teenagers, and now you're saying this same guy who was just a 12-year-old 2 years ago is supposed to be like maybe like 16 or 17 now. Like they're just, but the actors aren't aging that fast.
Oh, okay.
So, but they're the same kids. So, and then a couple of them, like they changed the Poison Ivy in the middle of it. You know how Hollywood does stuff. So,
oh yeah.
If you're a fan of that whole thing, you'd at least enjoy parts of it.
Oh yeah, Catwoman will always probably be my favorite, just because it's like you don't know if she's good, she's bad. You know what I mean?
Whatever she wants to be.
She's whatever she wants to be, and that's what I like about her. And she's a badass. She's an athlete, you know what I mean? But she's beautiful, and I don't know. There's just so much about Catwoman I love.
I just want to see a fourth Dark Knight series movie where they kind of go off to a private island together and just end it that way, instead of just having him go away by himself.
Oh yeah.
The way Christian Bale kind of went off on his own, you didn't really know there's going to be a fourth movie. And then, but they've always had that love story, and like you never really saw it play out. It was always like they shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it never did.
Well, and yeah.
Even in the comics, they kind of twisted and turned it a lot of times.
Well, yeah, I mean, because of who they are as people, you know what I mean? But they ended up having a kid.
I didn't know that part. I have to. Was that like part of the main storyline, or was that one of the alternative versions?
I'm not sure, because I quit reading it, so I just know that like they had a kid, and I'm not sure if it's a main storyline or if it's not. And I think that's where like Birds of Prey came in. Like, did you ever see the series? Mm-hmm. It had Batwoman or Batgirl.
Yeah, I think it's Batgirl.
Batwoman. And anyway,
I mean, they've always changed stuff up in that whole series. They had like 3 or 4 different Robins. They always mix stuff up.
But yeah, it's one of the versions. They have a kid, and she ends up being having some like powers.
Okay.
And it's not like the newest one. It's like it was like really old. I can't remember.
I'll look it up after we get off the air. I'm curious.
I'll send it to you. I'll send you the link because I can't remember, because I watched part of it and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then it got really, the writing wasn't like the best.
I feel like that's most comics. Like they start off really cool, and it's just so hard to maintain that level of writing for so long.
I know.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't. Like I write, but I eventually I get ready to move on to something next. Like I need another interest. Like those people that have been stuck in these stories for a lifetime. And obviously there's different writers that come and go in these different like major series. That's why the stories kind of change. Look at Spider-Man. You have the Amazing Spider-Man, you have the Marvelous, you have Peter Parker. Like there's so many variations. So, and I feel
it makes you wonder how Stan Lee did it. You know what I mean? How he had all these.
Excuse my language, people, but he's a fucking genius. That's how he did it.
He is, yeah. And I think he had such a passion for what he did. You know what I mean? So
my boy Evander, shout out to him. If he ever got on this show, he's more of a nerd into all that stuff than I am. Like he'll tell you the root, the origins, all that shit.
That's so cool. I have some friends like that too.
Every time I accidentally go down that path with him, I'm like, oh damn, here goes 30 minutes. I lost.
Oh yeah, totally.
I can't keep up with him. But
I don't know. I'm really excited like about my comic book. I know I only have one issue coming out, and you know, eventually I would like to make it where I come out with one issue a month.
Is everyone going to be like its own standalone story, or is it going to be like continuous?
Continuous. And then eventually like there'll be like little stories on. There's so much I can do with it. You know what I mean?
So like if I pick up like episode 3, I have to go back, read 1 and 2 to see where it's kind of coming from.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. For right now, you know, eventually, no, you know what I mean? But right now, yeah, because it's just starting off and you're just getting introduced to the universe, and it's so vast. They're immortal. They're vampire aliens. They're immortal. Like there's so many different timelines that's going to be, and so many different universes.
You know, eventually you're going to have to find a way to kill them.
No.
You can't have them just go roughshod over everybody in every episode. Eventually people are going to stop tuning in. You got to find some kind of counterpoint drama.
Well, like some of the myths
that put them at risk.
The Mesoamerican myths, they do die, but they don't fully die. So
is there like levels, like Dante's 7 levels of hell type thing?
Kind of like it's okay. So Quetzalcoatl dies, and then he like dies on some plane of existence, and then on a different plane of existence he goes to Venus and hides out there, and then he comes back. So, and then there's other stories too, but that's like one of the main ones, so that's why I brought it up. Okay.
Now you piqued my curiosity. Now I got to go look all this stuff up. Like I had an idea of some of it, but I didn't know the depths.
It's so intricate, and it's hard to and there's so many different stories, and then like a lot of times people mix them up. They mix up the Mayan and the Aztec myths and the Olmec myths, and part of it is no one really knows exactly because the cultures kind of meld together, kind of like the Greek.
It's not just them. They mix up like Roman and Greek, and like
that's what I was gonna say. Kind of like the Roman and Greeks. It's because they were on a timeline together. You know what I mean? So
closely associated. Yeah.
And I'm not doing it word for word. You know, I am taking things from theirs and making it into my own thing. You know what I mean? To kind of introduce you to their myths.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. You definitely have to send me the link. In the show notes, I'm going to drop links to everything. You want to real quickly before I let you get out of here, shout out where people can find you and follow you on social media?
So if you want to follow me on social media, it's all just at Nicdali.
She's capitalized the market with that one.
What is it?
So she capitalized the market with that one. She got in and she got that name and she's locked.
Oh yeah, my parents, thank God, they were weirdos like me, and they wanted to give me something unique, and they did it.
Is there a meaning behind it?
My dad and my mom, they're not together anymore, and so they both have different meanings. To my mom, she says it means new life, and then when I asked my dad, who actually he's the one who came up with the name, my mom was gonna name me something else. He told me that my name comes from a demigoddess from the Hindu religion, and it's they basically converted it into what it is. So the goddess is Nicdali, which I don't know that I'm pronouncing it right because I don't speak the language that it is. And so they converted it into, they changed it a little bit and made it Nicdali. So yeah, but to him, he said it was like goddess of love or ecstasy or something like that. And I was like, oh, thanks, Dad. Like,
setting you up for life, setting you up.
I know. I'm like, but my dad, I got to know him a little bit, and he's really into like science fiction and stuff. So even though I really don't know him, I still feel like I'm a lot like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you figure out that stuff sometimes as time goes on. But ladies and gentlemen, everybody give her a follow. Check out her OnlyFans. Keep putting more money in her pockets. Come on. Pay for that stunt double school.
Exactly.
There you go. You gotta have a rhyme and reason.
And new boobs.
I think you're all right in that department, but don't tell my wife. That's okay. She doesn't watch this show, or she'd smack the shit out of me half the time anyway.
She's Latina, so I can imagine. I'm Latina, so I already know.
I even made that joke. I can already feel like her shooting darts from me from work, and she doesn't even know what I said. So you can feel it.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so great I got to get you and Anthony on, especially Anthony getting ready to fight this weekend. Everybody check that out. Everybody follow Nicdali on all the social media, Nicdali, on Facebook, social, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere.
Even OnlyFans. Yep.
OnlyFans too. I will put the link in that. I'm gonna get you a couple more customers.
All right. Thank you.
You'll find all the show notes below. Make sure you like and subscribe so we can keep these episodes coming. Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate you coming on, taking some time.
Thanks, Mike.
And you're more than welcome back anytime. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap. This is Art of MMA.